Hey everybody, Joe Passion Unchained here. If you don't want to have a kick-ass love life, I'm going to give you 3 ways in this video to ensure that your love life sucks. Stay tuned. Welcome back everybody. You're probably confused about why I'm going to tell you about an easy way to make sure your dating life sucks. It's a weird thing to give you advice on. Well, there's a guy you may have heard of called Alex Hormozi, and he uses this framework. It's really easy for our brains to find the opposites of things, and it's really easy for us to think about the negative. So using this to our advantage, if you think about exactly how you can fail, the worst you can fail, and then you just do the opposite of it, well then you'll succeed. So I'm going to tell you 3 ways to fail on your online dating, and then we're going to reverse those. And that reversal is going to give you the actual advice that you're going to follow. So one way to for sure fail on your dating profile is to frame yourself badly. By this I mean is you want yourself to be the focus of the photo. If you're not the focus of the photo, it looks awkward, it looks weird, girls aren't going to get a sense of who you are, and they're going to swipe left. It's confusing, and it really portrays yourself in a bad light. Great examples are if you cut off part of your arm, if you cut off part of your leg, or if you just cut off part of yourself, or if you're off to the side of the frame too much. You need to be the focus. So if you really want to fail in your online dating profile, do not frame yourself prominently. Do not make yourself the main point of the photo, and cut yourself off somewhere in the middle of your body so that it looks kind of awkward. This next one is a thing that I see a lot of guys do. And this is probably why you're failing in online dating, because I've seen it in so many guys. Take a bunch of photos where you sit and you stand and you look cool, but you're doing nothing in particular. The reason this is really good at getting you to fail on your online dating is because girls want a sense of who you are. And 80% of users on Tinder are guys. 4 out of every 5 users on other dating apps as well are guys. So if you don't stand out, you're going to be nobody to anybody. If you don't stand out, you're going to blend in with the crowd, and you're not going to get any right swipes. Looking cool is not what you think it is. What most people think it is having a cool facial expression and having a cool pose. That is great in photos, but it is the 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th bullet point on what you need. And the rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those bullet points are take a photo that portrays you in your best light. And it also needs to say something about you. If all your profile says, I like to sit, I like to stand, and I like to look cool, girls are not going to get any sense of who you are. And if you're really attractive, you're going to get some right swipes, but you're getting a lot less than you could be getting if you have more interesting photos that say more about you. So if you really want to fail on dating apps, make sure to say nothing in the photos that you have. Just sit, stand, and look cool in every single one of them. Another issue a lot of guys do, or I guess if you're trying to fail, this is probably a great thing that they do, is they put a lot of smiles on their photos. Every single photo on their dating profile, they're smiling. You might think, well, this makes me look approachable. If I'm smiling, the girls will think I'm safe and they'll want to go on a date with me. Thinking you're safe and wanting to go on a date with you are 2 different things. Yes, you want to make sure girls don't think you're a serial killer. That does not mean you should smile in every single photo and look like you're very docile and uninteresting. I'm not saying that smiling is bad. I'm not saying being kind is bad. Those are good things. But if you smile in every photo, you're showing only one vibe. And that vibe is not a sexy one. It's a friendly one. You need some friendliness, but you want to show girls that you are a guy that's going to give them a good time. Especially for something casual, but even if it's something ongoing and serious, girls want to make sure that they are with a guy that can meet their needs. And if you are smiling and docile in every single photo, she's not going to get that vibe. You notice how I have my eyes in a certain intense way. I call this determined eyes. This, as well as my stance and my fashion, I guess in this particular, I don't wear this out every single day. I do wear this around the house a lot, but the way that I dress, the way that I look, I have tattoos on my arms, I have bracelets, etc. Oh, one of them is a hair tie. I portray myself as a guy who has a sensual side, a guy who has a dark side, a kind guy, but a guy who has many vibes to him. Do the same if you want to succeed on your dating profile, and this means using some more smirks, in your dating profile, using some more neutral faces, as in you're not necessarily smiling or frowning, just kind of neutral. Also, using these determined eyes that I'm doing right now, I teach this to all my clients. I give them instructions, I help them practice and make sure that they look sexy like a model would look, but in a casual, candid way. Do these things in addition to big ol' smiles, and you're going to give girls the sense that you can rock their world, even if you're not super confident in your ability to do so. But if you want to fail, then smile in every single photo, and you're going to get a lot of left swipes. So now, I've told you the 3 ways to fail. Let's review them. Number 1, frame the photo so you're not the main focus, or cut yourself off so you're kind of weird, you're kind of on the side, and you're partially cut off, or you're on the bottom or you're way on the top. Number 2 is say nothing in particular about yourself, but just sit and stand and look really cool. And number 3 is only put smiles on your dating profile. No other vibes, just really nice, approachable smiles. All those things will help you succeed in not getting matches on dating apps. Let's flip them though, because if you actually do want to get matches on dating apps, and you might be doing one of these things, or you might not be, but you want to make sure that you put yourself in the best position, flip them around. Instead of framing your photos so you're off to the side or so you're not the focus, frame your photos so that you're tastefully the focus. Not necessarily super centered, but maybe slightly off to the side, but you don't cut off your hands, for instance, or you don't cut off a part of your body that doesn't make sense to be in the frame, right? You have to put yourself in a main position in a tasteful way. Instead of saying nothing in particular about yourself, instead of just sitting and standing and looking cool and doing nothing, instead, take a bunch of photos of you doing activities that you love. Activities that say a lot about you. And if you don't have any of those particular activities, because maybe, say, you're working on a PhD or you're doing a doctoral residency, I've had clients in both of these categories that have no time for hobbies. Then what you get photos of is something where she could see herself next to you. Examples are eating at a cafe, drinking coffee at a cafe, having a glass of wine at a bar. These are things you might not have time for, but they're things where she could go there with you, and she could do those things with you. And the last one, instead of having smiles in all your photos, just like I said a few minutes ago, try a bunch of different vibes. Try the determined eyes. Try squinting slightly, which is the basic part of the determined eyes. There's more to it, but if you squint slightly, you'll get the vibe. You look more determined and more intense in a good way. You also want to get some photos of you using some smirks. You also want to get some photos of you looking off to the side. You don't want to be super approachable in every photo. But then throw a photo of you with a big old smile here and there in the profile. I like to say 2 big smiles maximum in a profile. That keeps the vibe approachable, but also with a dark side. You want to make sure girls will feel like you can rock their world. And yes, I do mean sexually. So go ahead and make sure you have a bunch of different vibes in your profile, and you are going to get matches coming in like hotcakes. I hope that this helped you get more clarity on what might be holding you back on your dating profile, what you can improve in your dating profile, and how dating profiles work. Because I want to help people build a life they love, and one very important part of their life, one very important part of everybody's lives, is a love life. If you have an abundant love life, things are going to be much brighter for you. If you want more tips like these, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.